2, 1. From Boston, Massachusetts to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between. Talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
We are back. It's Hump Day Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. It was a rough night last night, I'll tell you that, doing the OC. I think your man over here
Might have had too much.
I think I overindulged a little bit. And it was funny because I got that text message from you at like 5:30 tonight. Didn't correspond all day. And then you sent me, did you go to work today? Well, dude, look out the window. My car's not there.
Well, I'm on the other side of the house.
Get out.
No.
Get out and go for a walk.
I'm a busy man.
Yeah, but so today's Wednesday, Hump Day. It's been a busy last couple of days. We did a show late on Sunday, and then we followed up with Monday off. Tuesday, we did the OC here last night with George and Pat.
Which definitely ran late.
Yeah. It
No
ran.
doubt about it. They have a lot of content, so it's
I
worth
think that
it.
was about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think it was a shade under hour and a half.
No, but I enjoyed the
Sure.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's nice. So as we're sitting here right now, it's about 70, probably about 75 degrees outside. We have the door open at the Speakeasy. You're probably going to hear a dog barking in the background because we got some schmuck bags that bought the house across the street from us.
Easy there, Rich.
And they have dogs, and they are just absolutely going ape shit out there barking at other dogs. So,
and if that's the new neighbors, then we're in trouble.
Yeah. But then again, I can't really talk much because my dog howls in the front window all the time when nobody's home. So that's what it is.
And on the weekends, we might do some partying.
Oh yeah,
a little bit loud. Some might say.
You know what though? Hopefully they're a younger crowd. Maybe we get a little bit of youth going in here, and
we need it.
Maybe I can find somebody that comes and hangs out here besides JP and can keep up with the 2-to-1 ratio with you. That would be good.
Well, hey, you know what? It is what it is. That's my limit, and I'm not going to try and press it. I will give you the crown, no problem.
I get you.
I will give it to you every time.
But also, we're getting real close to boating season, so you know.
And I'm looking at my boat, wishing that it was in the water right now.
And for those who know or don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of going out on the water and hanging out at the lake, just because of the fact that I'm so busy. So every free weekend I get, I normally have a ton of shit to do. But I will say this. I will come out and say it. At times, I've thoroughly enjoyed myself relaxing on the boat.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
And I appreciate you allowing me to relax on said boat.
Just
as long as I'm not in the sun and the top's up, and I'm good.
We have the top up all the time for Rich, so he doesn't burn too much.
Yeah, my fair skin doesn't fare too well out there.
I'm the same way, but I disregard that, and I'm a sun kid.
Yeah,
I always regret it after the fact, but yeah, you know, when the beer's flowing, you're not thinking about sunscreen. But
yeah, but so tomorrow is the Detroit Lions Super Bowl is what it is,
and this is a big one.
Yeah, no,
this is a big one.
It's a big one. And, you know, there's a lot of rumors going around right now of who's going where. At what draft pick is going, and then there's also a lot of speculation and rumor that Atlanta's going to drop out of their pick, and there was also potentially rumors flying around about the Lions possibly moving up to draft Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
my personal opinion, and we had Dave Burkett on, and Dave had said Jamar Chase at 7 if he was there, that would be his pick. But
his pick was Trey Lance. He wanted a quarterback.
But his speculation was that when it comes to that pick, given that the 4 quarterbacks are going to be off the board, he does think that the Lions are going to go Jamar Chase.
Yeah. That would be a good pick. You know, we said it before, you know, anybody they get, I think you said it perfect on Sunday. Just put them on, all the pictures on the dartboard and just go blindfolded and let it fly. You
It's really
can't
what you got to do.
you can't go wrong with any of the picks that you might come up with. But
No, not at all.
But yeah, Jamar Chase would definitely be somebody that could be a day one starter, could be impactful. Definitely for Jared Goff, not really having a number one here yet. So yeah, I would be okay with that. But the rumor that came out today is that the Lions are potentially aggressively looking to get up to the number 4 spot where Atlanta sits, just so they could draft Jamar Chase. I guess they have a lot of good feeling about him, and they think that there's a chance that he might not be there at 7. So, the question really sits: do you like that idea if it happens? And what would it cost the Lions? Would it be a simple just swap of picks? Maybe throw in a late round pick, or I hate to see them give up a whole lot because this team needs a lot. And if you start losing picks just to move up, 3-4 spots, I'm not sure if it's worth it.
Yeah, and one of the intriguing things that I was listening to Dave on Sunday is like, you want to go and you want to draft that guy who's going to be an impact. You're going to want to get a guy that'll be a 10-year player.
Mhm. Yeah.
He'll be here 10 years. Realistically, they go after Jamar Chase. I'm just using it as I'm playing devil's advocate here. What if he leaves after the rookie deal?
Yeah. I mean,
you
see it all the time.
Yeah,
you see it all the time.
So you're looking at that, and he might want to be like, well, shit up. After 4 years, hey, I got a chance to go and team up with Justin Herbert or Joe Burrows,
or go with an old teammate wherever he might
reunite
be.
with Burrows.
Yeah.
And I don't see it. I'm still a firm believer that you need to go trenches with your first pick overall. But then again, if you do have somebody that fall, I'm not a big Justin Fields fan. And then now it really kind of turned me off on him even more is that, and I guess he's a victim of the circumstance with COVID. There was no combine. And so, the medicals and everything like that, you're getting them. And then it comes to find out that, he has issues with epilepsy.
Yeah.
So does that really put him in a different spot? My personal opinion, I don't think it will because, this is the first you're hearing about it. You don't hear anything like this when he was playing in college.
If it's something that he's been dealing with his whole life, it certainly didn't stop him from putting up numbers. But then again, here we go again. The Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah.
Does he fall into that? To me, I think he uses that as fuel. I think Fields is going to be an okay quarterback because I think he has more athleticism than most of the other Ohio State quarterbacks in the past. And he's proven that he can throw the ball. I think everything you hear, all the negativity about him, I think it's going to fuel him. And the fact that he is, the 4th rated out of the big 4, I think he's going to use that as momentum. But, wherever he lands, I do think he's going to be successful.
Yeah, he will. He'll land somewhere. Will be successful. But I think with the Lions securing Goff, restructuring his deal, freed up a little more cap room for them to be able to maybe put a couple complementary pieces around him. I think there's not a dire need to go for a quarterback this year.
No.
I can see maybe maybe later in the round, maybe trying to, if you do trade back, maybe you do, gain another pick or two in this year's draft, in the, maybe later in the 1st or early 2nd, then you can go and get yourself, a couple wideouts.
Sure.
And, you might do good with that. So
I saw a mock, I think it was on CBS. They had the Lions trading down. With Washington. So they were trading down, I think it was the 19th or 20th pick, and they had them picking the wide receiver out of Minnesota, Bateman.
Okay.
Bateman, who 2 seasons ago, he looked like a world beater. He looked like a Heisman contender. And
he did look good.
So did Minnesota. And they looked like national champion contenders. But last year it was a completely different receiver. I'm not too sure if he's first round talent. Definitely second second round, but I don't know if that's a good move for the Lions. I don't agree with what that mock draft was, and I'm really hesitant to see them trade down that far. As Burkett mentioned on Sunday, he was worried about dropping down too far. You might not find that one player that can be a 10-year starter for this team.
Yeah. So some of the stats on Bateman, as you said, he averaged 20.3 yards per reception in 2019, the best Big Ten player since 2001. Mel Kiper's got him picked at 26th.
Yeah.
In the rankings. So a late round, yeah, for sure, definitely. But
If he's there for the Lions in their second, obviously they have an early second round, but the chances are he won't be there. But if he's there, you take him up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I think that he, I think that if they're gonna, they can really, if they trade back, okay, they trade back. I'm comfortable with that. But the thing is we say this every year. Man, the year we drafted so and so, we could have had Aaron Donald.
Yep.
Or the year that we drafted this guy, look who we could have had. And hopefully, this being the first year for the new crew,
the new regime,
the new crew. Hopefully, they do something in a way to maybe shock us and maybe make a pick like that. Take a player that's going to turn out to be Randy Moss, or take a guy who's going to be the best offensive lineman ever to play the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's two of them out there potentially. I believe this is, and I think most Lions fans can agree, this is a different feel as far as front office is concerned. So it's hard for me to say right now, SOL, same old Lions, but the past is the past, and every year we all scratch our heads wondering, but
do a lot of head scratching.
I believe in John Dorsey, and I believe in Ray Agnew, and I believe in Brad Holmes as a talent evaluator, and he's brought some big time players in, and he was involved in the Aaron Donald draft. So those three put together, I don't see how they could get it wrong. But as Lions fans, we've been disappointed time and time again.
Yes.
So tomorrow will be interesting, and of course, there's always that one player that kind of got pushed back or got overlooked. Like the year Aaron Donald. So I mean, I don't think there's any way to prevent that from happening. But
no, there's not.
Hindsight, you wish they could go back and say, "Oh man, we missed on that."
Yeah,
one.
I wish we, if you could go back and it's funny, you see those articles of, hey, let's go back and redo the draft.
Yeah,
who would get picked where and everything like that. So,
yeah, it's a tough one. And that's always the excitement of the draft. You just never know. You think and then when it comes down to it, all the thoughts that you had, all the predictions that you made, all the mock drafts, they don't mean shit. Nobody ever gets them wrong except for the first maybe 2 or 3 picks.
Yeah, and then with we're talking Atlanta looking to maybe shop their pick in Julio Jones. I do not want Julio Jones.
Is he a hell of a receiver?
Yes.
Yeah. Is he talented like nobody's business? Yes. Can he stay on the football field? No.
And to be determined, because you never know. And I don't want. We've gotten. I'm speaking we as in fans. We've been burned so many times on inflated contracts, not just with the Lions. We've done it with the Tigers, and we're still struggling with the Tigers right now.
Biggie.
Yeah, and then we're still paying. I think we're still paying Prince Fielder's salary, or that might have went off the books.
I think it's done.
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck into like a Bobby Bonilla, contract where you're stistill paying the guy $1 million,
$1.5 million every year.
Yeah,
and you don't see him anywhere anymore.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even want my name associated with the Mets, but just make sure that check gets deposited.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm really not interested in that. I think the best, if I had to give advice to to the guys in the war room tomorrow would be, no, you just go ahead and
Yeah.
stand
You
put.
you can, harbor some offers and hear what they're willing to, to accept. A first round, no. Hey, what's up, George Jackson? And there's good old Coach Pat up there too.
Coach Patch is on. Coach. I said Coach Patches, but no.
Coach Patches.
Coach
Patches.
Coach
No,
Pete Nooner's on.
Somebody is going to go after him. There's somebody out there. The Rams could be in the market for a number one receiver.
But I think for the Rams, I think the issue with the Rams is it's money.
They don't have much money.
I think it's money.
Cincinnati needs, if they don't take Jamar Chase, they could be a team that could be looking for somebody that, since they just lost AJ Green, they need a number one. Yep. So if they put him out there, somebody's going to make an offer for him. But he's owed a lot of money and he's very injury prone. So it's a risk reward kind of a thing. And for the Lions, I don't think they can afford that risk for the reward. I think they're better off trying to build through the draft and seeing what they can come up with instead of bringing in, a world-class receiver. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, what is he averaging? Maybe 10, 11 games a year?
Yeah.
But that's what you get for a receiver that, was willing to go over the top and give it his all every week. And
he did.
He gets punished.
Yep.
He gets punished. And a lot like
like Calvin Johnson, too.
Calvin Johnson and Kenny G, when he was here, he missed a lot of games because he was willing to go up and get hit hard. But you know what? We're not in a position where we can afford to have that. That's too high for me.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. Yeah. So with that, we also got other things going on in NFL today. Teddy Bridgewater was traded to the Broncos for a 6th round pick.
And here's the caveat with that one. Nothing says fuck you to a player like, oh, your contract's $10 million. Oh, we'll pay 7 of that. Just get the fuck out of town.
So that right there is really smart. I shouldn't say smart, but it's kind of like the same from an old baseball contract from the movie Moneyball. They said, David Justice, he's like, well, I'm getting this payment, I'm getting this or whatever. And in the movie, Billy Bean's like, well, no, can you imagine that the Yankees are paying me $8 million for you not to be in their clubhouse? Think about that. So
we talked about the Tigers doing that with Nelson Cruz. They just pay him just so he could sit on the bench.
I would exactly. Him and Jim Tomei and Michael Brantley. I would sign all 3 of those guys, and I would say, see those 3 spots at the end of the bench. You sit there.
Sit on it.
Just sit there.
We'll call you.
Yeah, exactly. When we need you, we'll have you come out. I would be like, you sit there. So, yeah. So really, and what that did is that kind of paved the way to kind of alleviate any type of stressors that Darnold was going to have in his new transition to the team. They're like, hey, he got traded there. He was probably like, well, it looks like I'm going to be in a competition and everything like that. He probably didn't say anything like that, but in his mind, that's what he's thinking. Bridgewater's probably like, okay, well, I'm going to have competition. They're just like, we're going to pay $7 million of your salary. So the guy we want to lead our franchise doesn't feel threatened.
I think that John Elway, who, let's face it, he's not in the GM anymore. He stepped down. He's moved up into the organization, which makes sense why they were able to pull this deal off. I think Denver made a hell of a deal with this. You got a starter who let's face it, he didn't have McCaffrey all but 2 games last year. I know, and he looked pretty good. They didn't lose because of him.
No, they lost because McCaffrey is
he's 70% of that offense.
Yeah.
So they got a starter. And now they've got somebody that can, there's going to be a good battle. Drew Lock, he's only going into his 3rd year. So the question I have now.
Is this question for me?
Well, just in general,
okay.
You can answer it since there's 1, It's just you here.
Okay.
Do you think Denver is going to not go after a quarterback? I mean, the consensus was they were going to draft a quarterback. Do you think that they could package up a Drew Lock and a pick to move up and draft one of the quarterbacks and have him sit behind Bridgewater, who's, you know what, he's a consummate professional. And he sat behind Drew Brees, and he learned a lot of the game. And when he was in Minnesota, he was good until his knee got destroyed.
Yeah.
But I just think Denver's sitting in a good place right now. They've got themselves a viable quarterback, you know, maybe two at times.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, with like you said, packaging something with Drew Lock, newsflash, nobody wants Drew Lock.
I mean, he's a young quarterback. He could be a good, like, extra piece to kind of like amp up a deal, perhaps.
I mean,
or does Denver say, all right, Teddy Bridgewater is in that deal? Do they have that much faith in Drew Lock that they're going to roll with him? That they just brought in Bridgewater as a piece of the puzzle?
See, and I'm not well versed with Denver. Who was their starting quarterback before Drew Lock? Who did he sit behind? Or did he come right out and go right into the fire?
Paxton from Kentucky that they drafted a few years ago.
Yeah.
One of, you know, Elway's many shitty draft picks.
Yeah,
Von Miller might be the best one he ever had.
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely not lighting it. He's not lighting the torches up at the draft with.
But it's been a quarterback carousel in Denver, you know. Yeah. But I don't know. I think
ever since Tebow was gone, it's pretty
more playoff wins than
the Detroit Lions.
Matty Stafford. Oh, yeah. I just think they're sitting in a good place because their defense is okay, and when Von Miller's on the field, they're even better. Yeah. And he'll be there this year. He's playing. They brought him in, so I think Denver sits in a good place, and I think they're at 9 or 10. So we'll see. I mean, it was kind of a low risk for Denver, considering they're only picking up $3 million in that deal, and they only gave up a 6th round. So, you know, they couldn't go wrong.
Well, they could have screwed themselves given that 6th round pickup. You know, that could have been Tom Brady. You know, it could be a Tom Brady pick right there.
Yeah, maybe.
A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah, and the reigning Super Bowl champions bring back Antonio Brown, which I think this is probably the biggest non-news maker of the day. Like, him and Tom Brady are good buddies, and you always knew that they were going to bring him back. Hell, he was in Jacksonville over the weekend at UFC 261, and he was with Jake Paul, but Tom Brady was in the house.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
So that really isn't a big surprise, but to me, the biggest surprise is $6.5 million.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up because there's got to be.
It's incentive laden, and
it has to be.
And you know damn well that Brady is going to do everything in his power to get him that money because he's good for that. So that, to me, that's a high cost, but maybe coming in with a full camp, full off season would do him well. I know he's been battling a lot of court issues, and allegedly they're in the rearview mirror for him. So, he's been clouded. He's been dealing with things that were all done himself. So now that that's all in the past, who knows? He might get back to his old form, but I doubt it because I think he's just too much of a head case. So I think $6.5 million is a steep price.
Yeah. So Tom Pelissero said his 1-year deal up to $6.25 million, 3.1 guaranteed, including a $2 million signing bonus per his agent. So
that's a nice chunk there for someone that only played in a handful of games last year.
It also said on there, it said his last standing legal battle was done and completed on the 21st of April. So
yeah, that's why he hadn't.
His legal troubles are behind him.
So does that automatically make Tampa Bay the odds-on favorite?
Well, shit. If you look at this, the offseason for the Buccaneers, so they tagged Chris Godwin, they franchise tagged him. Re-signed Levante David, re-signed Shaq Barrett, Re-signed
Win.
Gronk, Brown, Fournette, Sue, extended Brady and Donovan Smith.
All 22 starters coming back. I think it's the first time in modern NFL era that's ever happened.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Sue signing, very underrated, and as many of our listeners know, Rich was not a fan of
Sue
and Ndamukong Suh.
hated him.
I kind of thought he might do well here if he came back, and there was some indications that maybe he was thinking about it because he had nothing but high praise for knee biter, Dan the Man Campbell, MCDC. But no, he resigns in Tampa. Sorry.
Yeah, Kevin chimed in and said it's the new Patriots. Well, see the difference between the Patriots and Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay spending money. The Patriots were cheap. Cheap asses.
No, it could be. You got most of that roster is fairly young. They've got a lot of talent on offense, and their defense, of course, we've talked about it many times, led by their linebackers who are just disgusting.
Oh yeah,
and so they could go on a run, and as long as they're winning, Brady ain't going anywhere. I mean, we talked about it before.
Well, he said he wanted to play till he was 48.
Well, his deal was for another, I think it restructured for 4 more years, and he's arrogant enough to do it. As long as Giselle allows it.
Yeah, but I do want to give a shout out to Kevin. Kevin has missed some time away from work. His wife was she popped positive. And he was off work for a couple weeks, but talking to him today via text message back and forth. I gotta check in on my favorite guys at work.
Boy.
And then so he goes and tests. I think he said Thursday or Friday or Saturday, and comes back. Then he come back to work because the guy they got doing his shit that he does. They got the guy they got. He's a just say
he's not Kevin.
He's not Kevin. He's not as thorough as Kevin.
Well, Kevin, we hope everything works out and the missus is feeling better, and we hope you feel good too.
Yeah, just my buddy. He's my buddy I talk to, and we talk. He comes in on Tuesdays and Fridays, and normally bullshit. And actually, we were texting back and forth. Are you guys doing a show tonight? I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to check with Tom, whatever. He was pretty much just do it. So here we are. We're doing it. So
we haven't done a midweek in a couple weeks. It's been such a hectic run.
And we were supposed to get with him. I believe it was this
Saturday,
weekend.
Yeah,
but,
I was wondering.
But
no bueno.
No bueno, Kevin.
Bueno.
They schedule baseball tournaments at the last minute, so I'll be
the next opportunity. The next opportunity will be there. Yeah, and you guys need to make your way out to the Speakeasy for sure.
Yeah, when you get back to work, we'll definitely sit down. We'll have to hammer a date out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So with all that being said and everything like that, also I got ripped on in his last show by Bobby, but whatever. Me and Bobby, yeah, Bobby and I kissed and made up, so it was all good.
Hey, I'm used to it. I might be calloused from getting picked on by the boys. I seem to always say something that they get a good laugh at.
Well, here's the thing: is we got a question here. If there's going to be a Kentucky Derby preview, I don't know enough about the Kentucky Derby. And Pat, I'll tell you right now,
Pat might be our resident Kentucky Derby expert.
Well, here's the
insider.
Here's the thing with Pat though is so every year that's him and his dad. That's their trip. They go to the Derby every year.
Is Pat going to the Derby this year?
I don't know. He might chime in.
Pat, are you going to put on a real vivacious hat or headpiece?
Yeah. Well, no, I actually. So
or a bow tie,
like him. He pound 8 minutes. Well, you know what?
I'm gonna pass.
When is the Derby this year? Is it?
It's Saturday. Is it this Saturday or next Saturday.
Yeah, he said he's not going this year. So
Yeah, I think it's
that's a bummer.
I want to say it's this Saturday, or it's either this week or next week. I know it's right around my my cousin from Florida's birthday, and his birthday's like May 5th. So
Okay. Yeah. So
it's always right around.
Yeah,
his
we
birthday.
can. I mean, if Pat
Well-
wants to chime in, we can. It's this
This
Saturday.
Saturday.
Well,
Well, I'll give you a preview. It's gonna rain like a motherfucker. And a really short dude on a horse is gonna win. That's about my knowledge of the Kentucky Derby. I just know people get hammered drunk. It's a big party, as what I'm been told. It's on my bucket list. I think we should bring the Easy Speak down to Lexington.
Oh, that's in Louisville, man.
No, it's not. The Kentucky Derby is.
It's not in Lexington, Kentucky, dude.
It's not. Is it Louisville? I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God.
See, that's
And that's why we got to have Pat on here.
I don't know.
Oh, he's going to be putting his bets on with the derelicts at the Northville Towns.
There you go.
I like that.
There you go.
that. So anyway, let's get back.
Moving on.
So away from football, the NHL is going to get a nice boost in revenue because they got a new TV contract with two companies actually. Turner Sports, which I've never heard of Turner Sports.
Well,
before.
that's who
That's
TBS, TNT.
I mean, it's
it's
Ted
just
Turner.
under one umbrella.
Yeah, but they got that, and then they also have with ESPN, right?
No, Bleacher Report. Oh, okay. No, the two TV deals are ESPN and Turner Sports. The bidding got too high for NBC's liking. I think next year will be the first year in 7 years that they won't be broadcasting hockey, and which is a shame because I think they were willing to take a risk. I think the first few seasons they had it, the NHL actually paid the NBC to broadcast the games, and it really picked up speed, and to the point that ESPN wanted back in, and now Turner Sports, they're really known mostly for March Madness, they're jumping in the mix.
Yeah.
And with that, you're getting Bleacher Report will have streaming. They'll have highlights. You're going to get games simulcast on HBO Max. It's really it's exciting for the NHL. They're really going to get put on platforms that a lot of people are going to watch that haven't seen the game before. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. So with that, you figure, there's going to be some more money rolling in for teams, and
they're both 7-year deals.
yeah,
They're both, and then so ESPN is paying $420 million for 7 years, and Turner Sports is paying $225 million. But yeah, you're right. So Turner Sports is going to be the digital rights for Bleacher Report and simulcasting on HBO Max.
yeah.
And then, ESPN's going to have ESPN Plus. Plus, not only that, though, ESPN's got a reach into Canada, so you're going to probably see some of the
TSN, which they already have it, but they'll be showing more games. Turner's also getting all the Winter Classics, so I think that was a big thing for them. I'm sure big reason why they decided to pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah, but here's another thing that's good about it is it seems like they're going like the Stanley Cup Finals. 22, 24, 26, 28 is all going to ESPN. 23, 25, and 27 is going to Turner. So
it'll be a good mix.
Oh, for sure.
So you're not getting the same announcers every year.
Yeah, and I'm really pumped up because the same music's going to be out there. So
it's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Now we just need Gary Thorne in the mix.
Yeah, they need to pull Gary Thorne out of the crypt.
Which he tweeted right after the deal was done. People were like, "We need Gary Thorne," and he took to Twitter and said,
"Bring me back.
If they'll have me, I'll be more than happy to be back."
So, he's had some of the most greatest calls.
His voice is made for hockey, just not Baltimore Orioles baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
ESPN hockey,
exactly,
for sure.
Or I think before he was on ESPN, he was at. No, I'm thinking of a different guy.
No.
I'm thinking of a different guy. So hockey, yesterday, the Joe Valino era has begun in Detroit. I am personally, it's a long overdue for me. I think he should have been here from the get-go, from the start of the season. But I do understand that the younger players, the Sider, him, going to develop in Sweden and still continuing to play while everybody was kind of on pause waiting for the season to start. I think that was a good choice. Would they have made an impact and put them in the playoffs this year? No, there's more glaring holes in the Red Wings game than just having a Veleno or having a Sider.
They're not going to make the difference
No,
this year.
no, they definitely were not going to. They were definitely not going to make the difference this year. So next year, I'm really looking forward to seeing a full season out of those guys.
Will Sider and Lucas Raymond be night one starters? You think they'll make the team next year?
Raymond, I'm not sure. Raymond does look good though.
Yeah,
like
till he got hurt.
Yeah, he looked really good.
And they're playing in the the Swedish Elite League, so that's not slouch competition.
No,
so they're and like you said, Yzerman.
And neither is the KHL. It's it's a bigger rink. It's so I want to believe they play like an Olympic sized rink, so it's a larger rink.
Isn't it like 5 feet wider, and then there's more room behind the net?
Yeah, and I think that right there is the adjustment that the players have from playing in Europe to coming back, is that it's a lot tighter in the corners and behind the net. The rink is smaller, so there's a lot more traffic per se. But Raymond, I mean, I'm not opposed to having him start there.
Why not?
I'm not opposed to him not being there, but do I feel like he's going to be a day one starter? Unfortunately, I don't think he's
going to give him a little bit more time to develop.
No, but I think he will be on the extremely short list of players to be called up.
Yeah,
at a moment's notice.
Well,
that's for sure.
Now, Grand Rapids, are they playing this year?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure how that, but are they playing right now?
Yes.
Okay. So, but next year they'll be back to normal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So so even if, he does go to Grand Rapids,
hopefully it's back to normal.
Well, it should be.
And it's kind of like, like the minor league teams, since you brought the minor league teams, like some of the minor league teams for like Edmonton. Okay. So they have Bakersfield, which is in the United States. They moved them to Canada. So in the event that they needed somebody, they were already there. They were accessible. We can move them. They actually they did play at Rogers Center.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, you need
a lot of them. A lot of the clubs did that.
You needed to, because with the borders being closed,
yeah,
you have to have.
And if you go back and forth, you have that quarantine period,
right?
Yeah.
And obviously people get called up all day long.
They've got a lot of foot traffic around here.
They must have got the message that the Easy Speak was going live.
Yeah,
the Speakeasy is open today. So,
but so I to get back, I don't think Raymond will be a day one starter. I'm a firm believer that Veleno will and Sider will.
Sider looks really good.
The only thing that really
who by the way, not to cut you off, was voted MVP by his peers.
Oh, yeah.
In that league. So
oh yeah, and that's really telling you something real huge about his character.
Yeah,
that's huge. I'm still not sold on Jeff Blashill coming back, but all indications, rumors are saying that he is going to come back. For me, it would be a
short
be a
leash.
very short leash, very
1 year.
But he'd be an at-will employee, in my personal opinion.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he's the reason why they haven't been successful.
He doesn't have anybody around him.
Because he was really good in Grand Rapids, and he developed a lot of good talent that came up to the big team. But I'm not too sure he's the right answer for the NHL.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, but then again, if Yzerman believes in him, I can only go by my belief in him.
Yeah, but I honestly think that the patience for them is running thin.
Well, it has to be, and especially when you have a nucleus of young talent that, could pave the way for this team for many years to come. You have to have a coach that is ready to take that next step. And we're both in agreement. I think that coach is on their bench.
Yeah. Dan Vlisma.
Yeah. I mean, he's a Michigan native, and I think he's a perfect candidate. He's won a cup. He's kind of a hard-nosed, no-nonsense coach, and I think young players need that. So we'll see. I mean, I think that he's got to be part of their plan. He might have more of a developmental role if they do both come back. And there's been a lot of trains coming through.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear a train whistle in the background right there.
Yeah.
So they've been humming through here lately. It's insane.
Yeah, it's been pretty active, especially in the middle of the night. So, moving on. So we talked about UFC already, and there's been a beef going on between DC and Jake Paul.
Whatever. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Whatever, but the deal is done.
It's done.
It's done. So on June 6th, which is going to be a Saturday, June 6th.
Yep.
On Showtime.
Oh, so it's not even going to be pay-per-view.
No, it's on show. I believe it's on Showtime.
Wow. That way they can get more money.
Jake Paul, the YouTube annoying guy
from Cleveland, no less,
is fighting Floyd Money Mayweather in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Hey, I'm all about somebody getting paid.
Sure.
I'm all 100%. Hey, you know what? You go get yours however you want to get yours. But it is making the sport of boxing look terrible.
And to me, for Floyd Mayweather to take this fight, number one, he's gonna mop the floor with him.
He is not gonna blow his perfect record on this guy.
But why? He might tarnish his reputation.
Floyd?
This is a joke.
Oh, believe me, it is a joke. But you know what else? Though, listen to what his name is.
He is all about money.
Money Mayweather,
and that's the name of his team, the Money Team. So yeah, they're gonna fill up that stadium. But folks, what is it like in June in South Florida?
That's not for me. I tell you that.
Can you imagine fighting in Miami in June?
Well,
you're talking about 100% humidity, temperatures in the probably low to mid 90s, heat index in the hundreds. Yep. Not to mention, it's going to rain at 3:00. So,
but the reason why they're going to Florida,
capacity,
because it's the capacity.
And if anybody watched UFC 261, which was amazing, it was at full capacity.
Yep.
And Governor DeSantis definitely will never release the true numbers, but we won't get into that on this show. But yes, I mean it's a money grab for sure. It's a money grab.
Cloudy with a chance of showers.
You know what? I wanted to be a weatherman. Fun fact, I wanted to be a weatherman when I was a kid.
I didn't know I was podcasting with Chuck Gatico over here.
I met Paul Gross of Local 4 weatherman fame when I was a little lad. But yes, breaking news. We got a system developing in the plains. The jet stream's going to roll on through.
Just in.
Cooler temperatures coming through the Great Lakes region for the weekend, but temperatures will start to rise again Saturday evening.
Christ.
Back to you.
Okay, back to me. So all this shit going on with him and his brother. Believe me, it's a money grab. It's exactly what it is. They want to get paid. Mayweather sees an opportunity.
Pay that man his money.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Teddy KGB He's he's like, but
So does
but no, here's the thing. So this guy right here sent he sent a message earlier today about
the giant.
Canelo said, yeah, you know what? You and your brother can come over and I'll show you what a sparring lesson is. I said, you know what? I go, I would pay money to see that because this is how funny it would be. Hey, you know what? You guys can be like tag team partners. You guys can take each other in and out when you're tired.
And Canelo can sit there and drink his Modelo's and stand at the barbecue grill outside the ring and be like, oh, hop in there and whoop some ass.
I would love to see that spar. Dude, he would whip his fucking ass.
Well, it's funny. You're starting to get a lot of these real fighters lining up and saying, oh, you think you're a boxer?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, you train 6 months, 8 months or whatever. You think you're a boxer.
Yeah.
You're going to go against guys that have gotten hit harder than you can throw.
So will Floyd do his normal run around the ring 6-7 rounds, get him tired, and then round 8 go in for the kill, or does he come in here and just try to put him out in the first round?
Let's call it what it is. In my lifetime, of boxers, when it comes to that size, like we're not talking heavyweights, we're talking welterweights. The two that really come to my mind who are very good with footwork is like Sugar Ray Leonard, even Hearns was good. In Floyd Mayweather, he's got some footwork.
It was his strategy, and it worked.
Yeah, he grinds them down and gets them tired. These guys are chasing them around the ring, ducking and dodging punches and stuff like that. But George says Floyd's a pussy. Well, you said, okay, George, I want you to respond on this or whatever, because you just typed in and we're going to put that up there. I want you to know, do you really honestly think Jake Paul is going to beat Floyd Mayweather? And obviously Floyd Mayweather is giving him 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Mayweather's got to fight at 160 and Jake Paul gets to fight at 190.
Yeah. Mayweather could fight at 150, 140, and I think he's still going to win. I don't know.
I think
if this thing goes any more than 2 rounds, in my opinion, it's a setup.
It's
WWE boxing edition for sure.
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting to me is obviously you're going to put 60,000, 50,000 in that place. You better have a nice undercard. Who's going to want to be on that undercard? Who's legitimate enough that's going to be on that undercard? You're going to get a bunch of maybe they can get the bar stool, the rough and rowdy, get it down there, throw some midgets in there and start fighting.
Yeah. But hey, you know what I did learn though? Don't play their clips on your podcast because you get shut down.
Yeah. Facebook will shut you down.
Yeah, Facebook.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
So George piped back in. His only strategy was dodging fighters in his prime and their prime. Jake Paul is a novelty. It doesn't matter. Yeah, well, it doesn't. Well, it does matter because this shit is destroying boxing. You make a lot of money, but it's destroying the integrity of boxing itself.
Yeah, and I think
this is my opinion. It's the opinion of nobody else's. It's all my opinion.
Ultimately, and I think this is going to hurt Mayweather's reputation down the road. Like,
you think that guy gives 2 shits about his reputation?
But in the eyes of the the elitists, like, why is he doing this? Like, to make money. That's it. It's just the dog and pony show. That's all it is.
For sure. So enough beating that fucking dead horse. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
When it gets closer to it. But preview for our next show this Sunday, we're actually going to be on a little bit earlier. A lot of it depends now on whether or not what time my son's got his baseball game in the morning, but we're shooting for 9 a.m. Sunday. Special guest coming from Australia.
Yep.
So in our intro, we do mention Adelaide, Australia. And the reason why we say that is we have a follower, a friend. His name's Nick Bauer, a diehard Lions fan, U of M guy. He wants to be on the show, and we're going to make it happen with him. So
yeah, him and I started following each other years ago on Twitter. He's born and raised in Australia, and he took a fashion to the 2004 Detroit Pistons team, which, who wouldn't? That team was amazing. They were dominant. So he got his taste of Detroit from them, and then from there he turned into a huge Lions fan. And pre-COVID, he would spend a couple months here, Michigan, traveling the country, following the Lions. And actually, one year he was considered by the Detroit Lions a season ticket holder. I remember one time he was saying he got a kick out of it. They sent him mail the following season to Australia, asking if he was going to renew his membership as a Lions season ticket holder. So real cool. He's a real energetic kind of a guy. He loves sports. He loves Michigan sports. So it'll be cool. He'll be joining in on his lunch break on Monday. So there's a 15-hour difference. So we'll be picking the crust out of our eyes, and he'll be already into his next week. So, but it'll be real cool to have him on. He's got a huge following in the Detroit area. So looking to get a lot of new followers just by having him on the show. So it's going to be pretty cool to have him on.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, for sure. Especially from a guy he's really got to look hard to find Detroit sports information and stuff like that. So
yeah, it'll be cool to hear his perspective of American sports and what people his age.
Yeah, and I think we are going to ask him if he knows Jason Belmonte. Yeah. Tom probably doesn't know who he is.
He's a bowler.
Okay, all right.
He's a bowler who doesn't use his thumb. Right?
He's a two-handed bowler. Yeah. I'll check you out.
Yeah, my 154 average is knowledgeable.
Wow, that's really lighting it on fire. You and George probably go head to head. Probably.
Hey, it's one of those. I don't really call it a sport, but when you can get better when you drink, hey, I hit 200 a couple times. I might shock the world.
I love it. So anyway, with that being said, but hey, before we log off, though, we want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen and interact back and forth. Kevin, Pat, George. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? What's up, buddy? I'm glad to see you made it towards the end, though. But hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. And then also Andrew Lattin was up earlier, and I just noticed that. But yeah, we do have
whose donation to the Speakeasy was an old school Plymouth Whalers jersey.
Plymouth Whalers jersey.
So we're thankful for that.
As he knows, I'm a huge Whalers fan, but even though they're not around anymore, it's still good to support the team.
It'll be hanging up here in the Speakeasy.
Oh, for sure. So with that being said and everything like that, I hope you guys have the good rest of the week, and
we'll see everyone Sunday.
We'll catch up with you guys on Sunday. Peace out.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330. You can catch us every week at ilogicmedia.com, Apple, and Spotify. Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Easy Speak Cast for the